ask you a question. Are you in this place where you just feel like you're sick and tired of starting over again? Whatever that might be in life, it might be your business, it might be your relationship with your partner, your relationship with your kids, with your health, your fitness journey. Anything that you have an aspiration, a dream to build, this vision that you can see in your head that you're trying to work your way towards achieving, and you just feel like you keep being in this place where you keep having to start over again, where you're exploring, you're trying to build upon something, you're trying to create something, and then you get so far, or it feels like you get so far, and then it's like you go, no, this is still not it. This is still not like the thing. It's not the vision that I've got. And you just feel like you have to start over again. And you're starting to kind of become a bit sick and tired of doing it. Well, I just want to tell you, you are not alone in this thinking. You are not alone in feeling this way. This has been an ongoing process, an ongoing cycle that I have been going through for the last, oh my goodness, how many years now? For the last like 3 years in my business. I have this vision of creating an empire. Like, I want to create this business that helps people, that allows people to transform, that allows people to step into being their most authentic self, to start loving their life, to start creating the life that they want. I want to share my experiences and my journey and my insights with other people so that they can create those things in their lives as well. And for so long I've got this vision in my head. I can see the vision so clearly, and I just can't work out the how of how to get there. And I have had so many stop start stop start. And when you, especially like in something like your business, or anything really, when that stop starting is something that's public, like even if it's not like on social media like my business, if it's like, your friends, your family, your partner, people in your life are constantly viewing this stop starting or like it seems like mentality that you're having, and you're having to like admit that again you're having to start over, or you're doing so, you're saying, right, I'm going to go with a different approach. This isn't working. I need to like reframe. I need to restart. And it becomes really difficult to keep showing the world what it feels like is you constantly failing. But I really want you to hear this. If you've landed on this video, there is a reason that you have landed on this video. Like, you have been drawn to this. This message is for you to hear today. And I really want you to understand that, one, this is not failure at all. And what this actually is not you being inconsistent. It's not you not being able to stick at something. It's not you not being able to show up for something because, oh my God, do I know that you are desperately trying to show up. Every day you are trying to show up. Every day you are trying to figure out how to get to this vision that you can see so clearly in your head. But I bet you that this vision that you've got, it's a pretty big vision. Like, this isn't something bog standard. This is something like on another level. This is something that most other people don't tend to have in their lives. It's something very outside of the box. It's something very outside of the norm. Like, for me, the thing that I'm going for, like I say, is in my business. But this could be in your relationship, like in your marriage. This could be the relationship that you have with your kids, the relationship you have with your inner self, that you have with your body, with your health, with your fitness. Whatever it is, it's something that's pretty visionary. And it's difficult to talk about this with most people because most people don't necessarily dream this big. And you can see this vision so clearly, but you're just really struggling to understand what the steps are to getting to that vision. And what I want you to hear is that, and what I've been learning on my own journey, because I can completely relate. I have felt like a failure so many times on this journey towards building the business that I desire. And it's like, there's so many times that I've wanted to give up. There's so many times that I have like nearly just gone, right, I'm just going to chuck this in, I'm just going to go and get a normal job, like it's just so much easier. But I know, like, if you're anything like me, I know that the vision, the dream won't let you do that. Like, you've maybe tried to suppress it, to put it aside, but that dream, that vision, it keeps like haunting you almost. It's like it keeps coming at you. It's like tempting you, like, come on, we can get there, like, you've got this. But it's so frustrating because you're like, I don't know how to get there, I'm trying to get there, and it's not happening in the way that you want it to. But I want you to know that this is not failure. You constantly restarting, positioning, reframing where you're going, what's happening, is not failure. It's not, like I say, it's not you being inconsistent, it's not you being able to not show up. What this is actually is that you are so dedicated to achieving and to calling in your highest vision that you won't accept anything less than it. So just let that sink in. This is not you being inconsistent. This is not you not being able to show up, not being dedicated enough. This is that you are so in tune to what is on and what is off for you that when it's off, you refuse to continue doing it. Okay, so you are so committed to calling in that highest vision that you see in your mind for whatever it is that you want to call in, that you are so dedicated to stopping and reframing and questioning whether this is right, whether this path you are taking is correct, that you are having to restart. And I want you to know that every time, like, it's not failure. What you are doing is you are learning, you are evolving, you are growing. You are saying to yourself, you're getting to know yourself, you're getting more in tune with yourself every single time you have one of these blockages, every single time you have one of these moments where you feel like you're stalled. And I know what it is. I've just recently come out of it. It's like your brain is just covered in grey fog constantly, and it feels horrible. It feels like this cloud just kind of follows you around and you're kind of stuck in this mist, in this haze. But I also know that you know what it's like when the fog clears. You know when it feels good. You know when you're in alignment, when it's exciting, when it's like it's just coming. Like, you don't need motivation because it's there. It's just like free flowing, okay? You know what that's like. And because you know what that's like, you are struggling to be able to settle for anything less. And I don't want you to settle for anything less, because for so many people we have, and we've all done this as well, but we're kind of coming out of the other side of this. We have, or a lot of people have, become so used to putting up with suffering. And I am so proud of you for the fact that you no longer want to put up with any of that suffering. You don't want it to feel bad anymore. It's got to feel good, like 80-90% of the time. And when it doesn't, you're starting to realize, whether you're kind of consciously aware that you're doing this or not, but what you are actually doing is you're starting to become aware of when it's off, when you're out of alignment, when it's not feeling good, and you're starting to go, hang on a minute, something's not vibing, something's not in alignment here. And that is my clue that something is off here and I need to reevaluate. Now, what the advice I want to give you from my own personal journey of this with my business is keep restarting, but I want you to just question whether you need to restart and reframe as heavily as what you're doing. Okay, I'll give you an example in my business. I have restarted the direction of my business so many times with what it is that I want to teach about. First of all, I went into teaching around It was like spirituality, around mindset, around manifestation, law of attraction. And then I moved into going in around like motherhood. Recently, I've just gone into like, wanting to talk about marriage and relationships and how to have that like delicious divine union and all that kind of stuff. And for me, like, and also what I've been restarting is like how I want to put that out there in the world. Like, what social media platforms do I want to use? Like, do I want to go on Instagram? Do I want to go on YouTube? Do I want to write a book? Do I want to create courses? Like, because this is the thing, like, you almost have so much choice because you've got like so much availability to you. Oh, good boy. That you're like, you could kind of go in any direction, but you're trying to like figure out what is the direction you want to go that feels good, that feels in alignment, that feels fun, that feels easy, that feels like flow. And this is the same with like in your relationships with, relationships with your kids, with your friends, with your partner, with your health, with your fitness. Like, you don't just want to follow a blueprint anymore. You're kind of done with that. You're over that. Like, you need to start discovering what your own blueprint is for all of these different like things in your life that you want to achieve and you want to call forward and you want to experience and live out in this lifetime. And I want you to just know that you don't have to, like, I call this like a pendulum swing. And what can happen is sometimes when you get yourself into so much contrast, when you kind of feel like, when it feels so negative, when it feels so out of alignment, when it feels so inauthentic, what can happen is it's like the pendulum kind of goes up here. And what you then feel like you want to do is you want to go whoosh, like straight to the other side. Like, you want to go completely the opposite because this feels so like wrong, so out of alignment, so not you, that you have this temptation that you want to kind of go in the polar opposite direction because it's almost like you feel like you're being so repelled from, whatever it is that you're discovering is so not you. But to save you a little bit of heartache in that process, I'm not saying don't restart, I'm not saying don't reframe, but what I am saying is don't feel like you have to swing that pendulum so far to the other side, because like, I've done this with my business. Like, basically where I'm at now, and it's taken 3 years, I'll be honest, like, it's taken 3 years to get back to pretty much the same place that I was in 3 years ago. Like, not in every area, but generally speaking, it's taken me 3 years to get back to the basic idea that I had in the beginning for my business and the direction I wanted to take it in. And I would tell you that 3 years of doubting myself, 3 years of losing my ability to kind of go back inwards and to stop and to ignore the noise that's happening outside, out here, and kind of center back in and believe in myself, has basically taken me back to the same point. I will add, however, that I needed to go through that over these last 3 years to get to this more solid point to say, like, okay, you are pretty much back where you started, but you're not back where you started. You never are. You never go backwards. Like, you always are moving forward. So I'm back at the same idea I started with, but the mindset and the shifts that have occurred to be back where I started are completely different. I'm in a completely different space of consciousness and awareness, and like, my mindset is completely different now to what it was 3 years ago. So don't feel like you have to do such a drastic start over. But the thing I want you to take away from this video today is that please ignore the people, and these could be people really close to you, these could be people in your family, your partner, like, people who you love very much, who just don't understand like necessarily what it means to really honor your own alignment with yourself, and how you really have to keep staying true to what feels good, to what feels in alignment, to what feels exciting, to what just feels effortless. Okay, they might just see it as you know, you don't really have a clue what you're doing, that you don't really know what you want. And I know that that is completely the opposite. You know exactly what it is that you want. You know, you've got this very clear vision, but you're just struggling to find that path to get to it. Like, the path will keep unveiling itself to you. Okay, you have to just keep connecting back in and doing what you've been doing, which is asking yourself, does this feel good? Does this feel in alignment? Does this feel exciting? Does it feel easy? Does it feel like flow? All those things that you know, all those points, those checkers for you to go, yes, this is what I'm looking for. You know what you need to look for, okay? It's just that it's taken a bit longer to reveal itself to you, okay? And it's probably taken that bit longer because you've been doing this pendulum swinging thing of, you know, experiencing such contrast and then going, I am really repelled from this. I need to go in the complete opposite direction. And then kind of finding that same thing there, and then you're going back again. So you're kind of just going back and forth, back and forth. But even if you are going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, what's happening is you're learning along the way. You're constantly evolving. You're constantly, you know, evolving your desires. You're learning more about yourself. You're learning more about what you like, about what you don't like, about who you are. All of that is so completely valuable. And the fact that you are even willing to go on that journey, so many people are not willing to even have that journey, okay? So I want you to just take a moment to just really appreciate yourself and to kind of praise yourself for having the guts to keep sticking to that journey, because I know it's painful. It can be really painful. But when the fog clears, when the grey cloud, you know, dissipates and the sunshine comes through, it feels amazing. It feels so good. Like, you're gonna get there. And whatever it is you're trying to like achieve, don't be afraid to keep restarting over with it, even if the whole world is watching you restart. And I know it can, like, I'm like this with my social media. Like, the number of times I've kind of changed the direction of my account, and it feels scary every single time. And every single time I'm like, what are these people going to think about me? Like, everyone is just going to think that I haven't got a clue what I'm doing, that I have no direction, that I'm just like clueless. But the more I keep dialoguing with myself and tapping back in, I know that that is not the case. I am not clueless. If anything, I have got way more understanding and focus around what I'm trying to achieve and where I'm trying to go than a lot of people that I know. And it's just that your journey is kind of showing up really visibly because you keep trying things, because you're not afraid to get curious and keep exploring. Like, don't ever stop exploring yourself. Like, even when I like finally achieve the kind of business that I dream of, I know that that's not going to be it. That's not going to be like my cue to stop exploring and to stop becoming curious, and it shouldn't be yours either. Okay, always remain curious, always keep exploring. And in order to explore is you have to keep trying things, you have to keep having a go at something, you know, doing it. And even if like you put that down after 2 weeks of doing it because you say, do you know what, no, it really isn't for me, keep doing it. The reason why it shows up, I think, so many like for people like you and me so visibly, is because we're very quick to decide what is and isn't for us. Whereas for other people, it can take a lot longer for them. Like I say, it goes back to this thing of, you know, they're much more used to managing, or not even managing, they're much more used to putting up with suffering. And I kind of like use suffering like lightly, you know, because but it's that mental suffering of like not being in alignment, not doing the things that you love, not being the person that you want to be, that kind of suffering. And you're just getting really good at knowing when you are in that space, when you're not being you, when it's not authentic, when it's not feeling good. And so what happens is you try something out, and very quickly you will know, is this for me or isn't this for me? Like, and so it looks like you're constantly switching from one thing to the next. But what you're actually doing is you're just obtaining information about yourself and your desire and the direction of your life so much more quickly than the majority of other people are. But it's showing up on the outside to, to other people, like I say, even to people who love you, who people who are like the closest to you. Like, even my partner, like I spoke to him the other day about, he knows I've been kind of really struggling with my business and the direction of it and everything. And I was like, I told him the other day, I was like, I've had this breakthrough and it feels so good. And I was like explaining it. And I really wanted him to be in there with me. And he kind of couldn't. And bless him, I know how much he loves me and I know how much he supports me, but I also know how many times he's seen me go through this. And to the external, like, world, it does look like you don't have a freaking clue what the hell you're doing. But I want you to stay true and dedicated to the voice inside that says, I do know what I'm doing and I am finding my way and I am getting there. And, bit by bit, this is slowly unraveling. This thing that I want to achieve, this place that I want to get to, is slowly making its way towards me. And what will happen is when you get there, like, you're not just going to get there on some basic level, you're going to get there on this like exponential level. Like, I did this in my marriage. Like, I didn't want to just like bring back intimacy when it completely like disappeared after having my first child. Like, I didn't want to just have a happy marriage. Like, I wanted to have like a relationship, a romance that was like out of a novel. Okay, I wasn't going to settle for anything less. And so this is what I was saying, like, you're going for these like things that most people don't ever get close to. Okay, it's going to take maybe that little bit longer to get you there. So just be patient with yourself. Like, be nurturing and caring of yourself. Be kind to yourself in this process, and just know that you are constantly expanding, you are constantly evolving. It's okay to start over. It's okay to understand very quickly what you do and don't like and to make decisions about that. Okay? I just needed to throw that out there today because I know, like, I know how crap it can feel when you're in that place, when the fog is there. And I'm like out of the fog now, so I can make this video about it. But like literally only a few days ago, I was still in the fog, and yeah, it doesn't feel great. So if you're in the fog, I really hope this is like resonating, and I hope that it is just giving you that like that bit of thread to hold on to. Keep going. Like, that vision of yours is coming. It will get here. It will manifest. It just might take a little bit more inner work for you to get there. But every time you restart, every time you keep pivoting, it gets you closer. Okay, you are getting closer. Even if in the physical world it doesn't seem like that, it still feels like you're in the exact same spot. If it's starting to feel different internally, that's when you know that it's getting there. It's like my business, like nothing has changed physically in the last few days. I haven't gained any like extra new followers, I haven't like made any extra new sales, nothing like that. There is no physical evidence for any of this like change, but I can feel this change in here. And that's what's powerful. Give it time and the external will start to reward you. It will start to give you evidence of the internal change. Okay, and if you're struggling you're in that like fog space, pop into the description box because I've put together this really gorgeous free guide, and it starts your journey towards getting in tune with your authentic self. It's called, let me say that again. It's called, I've got a cold, so I'm a bit nasally. It's hard to get some words out. I'm amazed I haven't stumbled so far. It's called Uncover Your Authentic Self. And it talks through how you can start getting more in tune with you, how you can start knowing those likes and dislikes, how you can start building your vision, how you can start connecting in with yourself and your inner voice so that you can make those decisions so much more easily. Okay, so it's there, it's a gift from me to you. Check it out in the description. And I'm going to be getting back on YouTube more. That's one of the things that's come out of my fog, is that I really want to get back onto YouTube. Like, my thing is long form content. Like, I don't know, I haven't formed a relationship with short form content yet. I've been trying to master Instagram, and at the moment it's not happening. I'm not saying it's like a never thing, but this is where, like, I enjoy just creating these videos, just riffing about what is current for me, what feels like, what message needs to be shared so that you guys can benefit from it. And I can't stick, what are we at now, 25-minute video onto Instagram. So I'm going to be hopefully in your feed much more on YouTube. So if this is the first video that you've watched of me, hi, I'm Josephine Snowling. I probably should have like said that at the intro, but I just wanted to get like straight into it. And basically, I just want to teach you how to come home to yourself. That's the way, like, that's how I like to call it, to come home to you. Like, this is home in here. This is home. And I want to teach you how to get back to that place. Because once you get back to that place, that's when life just feels good, you know? Life feels delicious. And, oh, yeah. And then all those visions, all those dreams that you have can just start to come forth easily. Like, life becomes easy, it becomes fun, it becomes enjoyable. Like, that's why that's the freaking point of us being here, is to enjoy, is to expand, is to evolve, is to grow. Like, so I want to teach you how to come back home to yourself, and then how from that place of returning home you can just create the most beautiful life that you've ever dreamt about. Okay, we don't do mediocre on this channel. This is not for the vanilla. This is for people that want to expand, for people that want to grow, that, you know, that don't want to live a boring, mediocre life. They want to live life to the fullest extent that they see is their fullest extent. And I want to teach you how to get there. So if that's vibing with you, then subscribe, and I can't wait to be sharing my next videos with you. Have a beautiful day, whatever it is you're doing, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya.